Happy Sunday, everyone. Just making sure everything's set up right. Let's see. I hope everybody's enjoying their family during these holidays. So this is Self-Care Sundays with Naturally Shaboo. I had started these a while ago, but kind of fell off. So I'm trying to get them going again because I just really believe in self-care. And I really believe in taking care of ourselves normally, but especially because we're going through a pandemic. So today is going to be a little different than the way I would normally do self-care Sundays. Self-care Sundays format will be me talking about some different self-care options, some experiences that I've had as I'm working through one of my self-care, which is the cleansing of my face and the keeping of my skin to be healthy. And I'll be kind of going through my routine as we're talking. It's just a conversation with everybody. But today, I'm still going to do my self-care. I'll do it a little bit later. But I wanted to talk a little bit first about why self-care is important, like why it's a big deal, why I think it's even important to kind of talk about it in this type of format. So I've been playing around with this little backstage stuff, and I think I know what I'm doing. So we're going to see if this happens correctly. Yay. I think y'all can see what I can see. So I can't, it is a PowerPoint. I can't make it completely big because I won't be able to see what I'm talking about with y'all guys. So first, let's talk a little bit about what is self-care. So here's the definition. Self-care is a general term that describes everything you do deliberately for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. As simple as it sounds, many of us pay little attention to self-care. This is why deliberately is one of the most important words in the definition. You need to be conscious of your well-being. What's really important to me is that you be intentional. That's something that I have on like everything. I have it on my signature, my email. I have it on my voicemail because a lot of times we want to do the right thing. We want to take care of ourselves, but we're not intentional about it. We don't put the time in order to take care of ourselves. And in my life, as many of y'all guys know, I have a lot going on. I'm a full-time school social worker. I have two businesses. I have Naturally Shaboo and I have F2 Liturgical Dance Academy. I'm also a mom of two very, very, very busy children. And something that y'all may not know is that I also am a adjunct professor at Winthrop University. I do that very part-time on the side with their field placement program, and I'm dating and I'm doing all this great stuff, and it can be very overwhelming. And so I try to be very intentional in my self-care. And I think it's important for everyone else to be as intentional when you're taking care of yourself, because your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, it can get jacked up very, very, very quickly, and you don't even know that's happening. Personally, I experienced that, and I found myself being avoidant, not even knowing that I was being avoidant, but that's what I was doing. I was avoiding the situation, and I felt like I was okay. I felt like I was doing things right, and my mom really had to do kind of like an intervention and let me know what was going on. And it's because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't taking the time for my self-care. So that's really why it's important. It's important because it encourages you to maintain a healthy relationship with yourself so that you can transmit the good feelings to others. You cannot give to others what you don't have yourself. Like you can't pour from an empty cup. So what's really important is that we want to be the all and everything that we can be for our family and our friends and our children and our loved ones. But if we're not taking care of ourselves in the process, then there's no way that you can help take care of others. When I'm doing counseling or when I'm talking to people, I tell them a lot that, like, if you're the foundation, this is the foundation, and the foundation is weak, everything that's built on it's going to fall. So you got to make sure that you're good. You got to make sure that you're feeling good on the inside, that you are being intentional when it comes to taking care of you, your mental health, emotional health, physical health. Something that I'm doing right now for my physical health is I have hired a nutritionist. Big shout out to Organic Chrissy, who has really helped me be accountable to my food intake and the things that I'm eating and how that have 100% control over what I'm putting in my mouth. Like seriously, I have control of if I'm going to drink water, if I'm going to drink soda, I'm going to drink water, I'm going to drink tea, which is tea is my thing. Coffee is really my thing. I have complete control over that. And so to have someone help guide me with that process has been tremendously helpful. I've actually lost about 42 pounds now, and it's just falling off, and I'm excited about it. Every day is not a good day. Every day is not a bad day. The days that I fall off, this little holiday time period, I ain't playing right. So it has been really a struggle a little bit during this time because I want to eat like I normally have eaten. But, each day is a new day. So I don't beat myself up for it. If I have a day that I fall off on it, I jump back on board the next day. So that's why self-care is important for you. So here are some tips for self-care to improve your well-being. Because a lot of times we talk self-care and we hear like self-care is that big hot topic that we all talk about. Oh, self-care, self-care, self-care. But a lot of times we don't even know how to do self-care. We don't even know what is something as simple as sitting at home in your room for 5 minutes a day, how much that has such a bearing on how you feel. Or doing deep breathing. And people hear deep breathing, they kind of hear oh, just gonna breathe. That's not what it is. It's not breathing like we're normally doing as we're talking now one on one. Deep breathing is being very intentional. There go that word again, intentional. Being very intentional on how you're making sure that you are closing your eyes and you're taking a deep breath in and you're holding it and then you're releasing it. And y'all don't even understand how helpful that is. I do this with students. I do this with clients because what happens is sometimes your thinking brain goes offline. And when you deep breathe, it helps you to reset yourself. It helps you to bring everything back on and bring that back to you so that you can think logically. And so deep breathing is a very good step. Why do you think they do deep breathing in yoga and other exercises? Because it helps to calm your body. And that is part of self-care. So I just put a couple of tips up here about what self-care can look like for you. So you want to pay attention to your physical health, which is what I said before. Making sure that you are good and that you're being intentional on what you're intaking in your body. No one's saying everybody has to walk around being a size 0 ever, whatever that is for you. But if you're being intentional about your physical health, getting out there and walking, if you can't get outside, doing stuff in your house, watching what you eat, those things are good for you. Getting enough sleep. I say it all the time. I sometimes can't get enough sleep. Life can be busy, but you can try to make it so that you can get 5 to 6 hours in every night. Being a healthy eater, talked about that a little bit already. Identifying things that matter to you. Like seriously, a lot of times we get busy with being a mom, or we've been busy with being a wife, or being a husband, or being a dad, or being the boss. I mean, you're trying to have that bossy life, but it's time consuming. And sometimes you lose yourself in that process. Like you lose who Sharonda is because I'm so busy being Miss Banks, or I'm so busy being Miss Sharonda. I'm trying to run stuff and I forget about that little girl who used to ride her bike in the neighborhood in the cul-de-sac, who loved to just ride and throw her arms out. And it just brought such happiness to me. So I am being intentional, and I'm urging y'all guys to be intentional too about your self-care. Right now with the pandemic going on, we're hearing so much stuff that is just so overwhelming about our health and about what's going on, and not leaving without your mask. And if you do, what could happen? Being in the hospital, people dying. I mean, I personally have experienced people very close to me who have passed away, maybe not from COVID, but have passed away. And it's a lot. It's very overwhelming. And if you don't take that time to take care of yourself, you can find yourself in a position where you're completely shocked. like I said, like when I was avoidant, when my mom kind of like cornered me and was like, what are you doing, Sharonda? I didn't even know I was doing anything. I didn't know I was avoiding work, and I didn't know I was avoiding people I loved. I felt like I was just normally doing what I was doing. I felt like I had it all together. I was managing stuff, and I really wasn't. And it really took someone pulling me aside to let me see that piece. So I believe in self-care 110%. I take the time to love on myself. I take the time to get to the essence of who I am and not forget that. And it doesn't change the fact that I'm still Jemiah and Jermaine's mom, or I'm the owner of F2, or I'm the owner of National Shaboo, or I'm the professor at Winthrop, or I'm the school social worker in Cabarrus County. None of that changes. But what has changed for me is the fact that I'm taking that time in order to get back to me. I'm traveling and I'm reading and I'm painting. And I'm coming in my house in the evenings and I'm taking the time to just get 10 to 15 minutes to myself. And my kids know that. Like when I come home, they give me my time in my room. And once I have it, I'm good. I go out there and cook. I can do whatever else I need to do. But I need those moments because that's what the self-care looks like for me. And that's what it looks like for me. It could look very differently for you. I always challenge people to come up with a self-care plan. Like, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So if we're talking about, again, being intentional, then you come up with your self-care plan. Get a piece of paper, write down the top 10 things that make you happy, and then look at them and then figure out of these 10 things, what is something that I can put in place for myself. I'm gonna stop sharing my PowerPoint and just share me. And I don't know if anybody's saying anything. There you go. I can see now. But be intentional in all that you do. Seriously, be intentional. And so make your self-care plan. You could say, I like to read, I like to cook, I like to paint, I like to read. I mean, I like to do all these different things. And then you can just number them and then write down, okay, out of these, like legitimately, I can do this. I can do number one. I can make sure every day I come in my room and I sit here for 5 minutes, and then you build on it and you continue to do more things. So like I said, one of my self-care things is cleansing myself, cleansing my face. So I'm going to do my little cleansing routine as we're talking some. If I do have anybody up here, if y'all have any questions, if y'all have anything that you like to do for self-care, put it in the comments. I think I can see it for both YouTube and for Facebook. I should be able to see both of the comments. Go ahead and put it in there, and then we can talk about it some. So I'm gonna start my self-care routine and one thing that I do. I try to do this, not all of these things every night, but at least like every 2 or 3 days, I try to get to this. So I already washed my face, right? So this is what I use for my face, just so that in case you were trying to look for a routine for yourself. I've been using this Kylie Skin. You see that? By Kylie Jenner. This is really, really, really good. I like it. I can see I almost don't have any more, but it's a foaming face wash. I really like that. So I already did that to my face. And so next I'm going to use this exfoliating Swipies. You see that? So as I'm talking, I'm just going to start doing my little face. I got myself set up in my room. So what are y'all thoughts about self-care? Is it something that y'all been thinking about? How important is that for you? So like I've been saying up here, the important is great. Like it's extremely important to self-care. And I challenge everybody to be intentional. Come up with your self-care plan. If you don't know how to do a self-care plan, shoot me a message. If you have my phone number, text me, shoot me an email. It's naturallyshaboo@gmail.com. You can message me there. Anywhere. Come up with a self-care plan. I can't tell you how much better you'll feel. You may feel like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed with everything that I have to do in life. And guess what? It's not going nowhere. I mean, that's the reality of it. Me, being a mom is not going nowhere. My kids needing me. My daughter's working now. So I'm having to take her to work. That is definitely a new situation. And she's working, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So that's added another piece of something that I have to do. So that doesn't go anywhere. Me having a job doesn't go anywhere. I work in a school system, like I told y'all. I work in a school system. So yeah, I know school right now is crazy. And I have a lot of mixed emotions about being in the building and not being in the building. And as a social worker, is I recognize, hey Abs, hey Tiara, I recognize as a school social worker that school is a safe space. It's a very much a safe space for a lot of students. It's where they can eat consistently, is where they can get a lot of direction from consistently, is where they can be warm or cold consistently, is where they can be safe. Then you also have the health pieces that are going on right now. So a lot of things is combated. So that ain't going nowhere, right? That part of my life. Being an entrepreneur is not going anywhere. I have a dance academy and we are practicing and we're meeting, and that's every single day of the week. And it's busy. People think running a business is easy. It's not. I don't know if I can say it anymore. It ain't for the faint of heart. It's not easy at all. It takes a lot of time and consistency, and like every moment of the day putting something together. And then God gave me this brilliant idea to do this body butter line under Natural Shaboo, and I'm so appreciative of everybody supporting it. I mean, all jokes aside, my skin is baby soft, but it still takes time to make the product and to advertise the product and to mail the product and all of that. That takes time. So they ain't going nowhere. Like I said, many of y'all don't know, with me being an adjunct professor at Winthrop, it's not super duper time consuming because I'm a professor over the internship program, but it is very, very much a position of me trying to help support students as they're going through their internship, and it's still time consuming. So it's not going nowhere, right? Me being a only child of a mom, having a mom and a dad, and everything falls on me, it ain't going nowhere. So all these things aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere in your life either. So why not take the time and be intentional to take care of yourself? I mean, y'all, like, even if COVID wasn't going on right now, you still need the self-care. You still need to take that time for yourself, because if not, you lose the essence of who you are. I mean, you just do. You forget about the things that make you happy. You forget about the things that makes your heart smile and give you joy. And so if we're being intentional, and I'm going to keep saying that, be intentional. Like I said, be intentional in all that you do, but especially in self-care. Be intentional. Come up with your self-care plan. Pick out a few things that you feel like you can do consistently, and then do them, and then execute it. And then see, do you feel better? Are you like for me, for instance, since I have been very intentional in my self-care, I see my skin is lightening up. 41 ain't looking so bad on a sister, it's looking good. My skin is bright. I was getting a lot of dark circles under my eyes before. That has cleared up. No bumps on my face. Since I'm being intentional and I'm working on my health, I feel better. Like little things, y'all. Like not even the scale goals, the non-scale goals, like the ankles don't look swollen. Like that was a big thing for me. Like ankles not looking swollen, moving around a lot better, getting up and down stairs better, knees not hurting, all of those things. Hair growing. I don't know if y'all could, hair growing, all of those pieces is because I'm being intentional to take care of myself. And if this is a nugget for me, I want to share my nuggets with everybody. I want everybody to feel good. I want everybody to live a long life. And like I said, with COVID right now, could just be very overwhelming. Us being like in our homes and not really being able to go anywhere can be a lot. People can get into depression very easily. People can get into just self-hate and just not feeling good. And so because of that, it's so important to fill your cup. Yes, I mean, I agree. I literally just said that you can't help anybody else. You can't feel. I couldn't do this. I couldn't pour into everybody else, whether I have one viewer or 750,000 viewers. I couldn't do it if I wasn't taking care of myself in the process. I can't fill your cup if my cup is empty. It's like down in the grains, can't even get into it. I couldn't do that. But I think it's important enough to do this every Sunday. Every Sunday, I'm gonna get up here and we're gonna talk self-care talk. And hopefully I'll get more viewers or more comments or whatever, and we can talk about what are you doing for self-care. How are you being intentional? What are some suggestions for me? I'll try some self-care things and come back and talk to y'all about it to see, did I like it, did I not like it? So it's not always about me doing my self-care on Sunday and cleaning my face. It could be some other options. But I'm excited. I'm excited about 2021. I'm excited about today, 2020. I'm excited about the things that are in store for everybody. And I'm just really, really hoping that everybody takes the opportunity to try the self-care and try to take care of yourselves in this process. So I did my cleansing stuff. Sorry, I got on a tangent. So now I'm gonna do my this is Fat PHAT Glow Facial. I've used this a few times. Y'all see that? Yeah. So I'm gonna put this on. I'll leave it on for about 15 minutes. And if you have a chance, you can type in the comments, what is something that you like to do? Something you haven't done in a while that makes you happy, makes your heart happy, and that could realistically be a self-care option for you. And I can talk to y'all about mine because I self-care a lot. I really do. I take the time for me. It took me a while to get here. All right, Ebony, I just bought a case of alkaline water. Excellent. Are you how much water are you drinking a day with the water that you purchase? So this I'm putting on my face now. I believe I leave it on for 15 minutes. Outside of me doing cleansing of my face, I also like to read. My grandmother taught myself and my cousins how to read at a very young age. So I've always had a love for reading. And a lot of times I get so busy that I don't have a chance to, because when I'm sitting still, I always want to do something else. I always want to do something else. But I've tried to be intentional to read a little bit during the week. And I sit here on my couch. I'm in my bedroom. I sit on my couch. This is my heated blanket. It's my favorite thing ever in life. And I read and I read and I enjoy it. And I go into this other world for a little bit. And then when I get done, I get up and I make it happen again. I be mommy. I go cook. I go to the dance studio. I make body butter. I do whatever I'm supposed to do at that point. Okay. I guess it's enough on my face. I didn't prepare good enough because I don't have a washcloth. So I have to pause and get my daughter to come in here and bring me something in about 15 minutes. So Ebony's saying increasing her water intake and face masks and sugar scrubs. Those are all self-care things for her. Trying to get a gallon a day. I'm trying to get a gallon a day too, and I'm nowhere near it. I'm trying my best though. And you bought a new book from your favorite author. So y'all, Ebony is 100% learning the things she didn't share, but she also got two new tattoos, which is also a self-care thing for her. You know, everybody has a different thing that is a self-care option. Like I said, again, be intentional. Make your self-care plan. If you don't know how to make a self-care plan, please reach out to me. I will help you. I will help write it down. I have a couple of self-care plan worksheets that I could send to you, because it's that important. It's that important to take care of that mental health, to take care of your emotional health. I have times that I'm in here, like I said, because right now it's a lot of staying home. So I have many times that I'm here, and you have moments, right? We always say we have moments that we fall off our square, right? So, you know, and in those moments, the difference between being in a healthy place with your mental health and being in a non-healthy place is, do you get stuck in that? Do you get stuck in that, okay, I'm not really feeling it today moment, or can you come out of it? And if you feel like you can't come out of it, that's when you need to look at what's going on with me, what's going on in here. What are some things that I need to do to get me back to the essence of me, you know? And when I have those moments, you know, I find myself coming out of it because I then find something that's on my self-care list for me to do. You know, me spending time with my kids is awesome. It's definitely self-care for me, but sometimes it can get busy, right? Because kids They always need something, right? They always have needs. They hungry. They I don't know. They want to talk to you. So please don't get me wrong. I love my babies. I also grew up as an only child. So I'm used to being by myself. So my kids know that I need moments to myself so I can recharge, I can refresh, I can get my thinking brain back on. I can talk intelligently. I can be the best mom I can be just because I needed those 5 minutes. Emily said she just purchased some new makeup and some recording equipment to move forward. Yes, Ebony has a YouTube channel. She has hit over 1,000 views. That is Ebby Reviews. So if you have a chance, please go follow my cousin. She is doing some great stuff. Seeing the evolution of her and who she is as a person is phenomenal to watch. She is beautiful, has a beautiful spirit. Is real, is all get out. If I need anybody to have my back, my cousin Ebony got my back 100%. There ain't no question. Like 10 toes down, like I could call her and I know that I'm good. So follow her. You'll get a different vibe from her podcast and from her YouTube channel, but it's good information. She does a lot of makeup and you get to learn a lot about skincare and things like that with her as well. So what other things that people are doing with self-care? What are some focus points? What are some things you haven't thought about in a very long time that you're like, oh my God, I haven't done it. I would love to get back to doing blah, 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 whatever that may be. So I told y'all guys that reading is a good thing for me. This new healthy eating has been a good thing for me. Sitting quietly has been a good thing for me. Making the body butter actually has been a good thing for me as well. It's very relaxing and the aromas are so good. And it's definitely a process to kind of get through everything. So I probably have about 5 more minutes with my face mask. I need to text my daughter to come bring me a wet washcloth. So give me just 1 second. I wonder how many people are actually doing any cleansing of their faces or anything special. So even if you're not watching it live right now, put in the comments afterwards. Let me know about what self-care you're doing right now. If anything, has it been a focus? Have y'all heard the hot word self-care? I feel like I've been hearing that over and over and over and over again about self-care, but not with a lot of direction, not with a lot of focus. So I'm hoping this information is helpful for you as to something that you can do. And like I said, come up with your self-care plan. Here comes Jemiah. Thank you. Thank you. With my wet washcloth, I'm going to wash this off my face. Oh, wow. Not a lot of water up here. Okay. Interesting. So normally I'm doing this over a sink. So this is very different doing it on a video, but we're going to get it off. So with the focus being self-care, self-motivation, developing plans, being intentional, all those hot topics or hot words that I said, the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes to be able to look at yourself, take care of yourself. The same conversation I'm having now is the same conversation I have with my children. You know, I try to help encourage them to find different things that make them happy and how they can go and move forward with it. And it's not easy. I mean, it really isn't easy at the beginning, but it definitely becomes easy as you consistently self-care. I was able to look up different things. Some people like to ride a bike. Yes. Some people like to ride a bike. Some people like to go walking. A couple of my coworkers who are counselors, they actually like to go walking in their neighborhoods. And I definitely agree with Ebony. I'm 100% an advocate for therapy. Sometimes therapy can get a stigma about it, like you sharing your business with everybody. What goes in your house stays in your house. And that honestly, it stifles you. It stifles us as people. Therapy is set up to be a safe space for anybody to be able to talk with a non-biased person about what's going on. The therapist's role is not to tell you what to do. I think a lot of times that's where people get things confused, is they feel like in therapy they're supposed to be told what to do, and that's not what happens in therapy. The therapist helps guide you with different evidence-based models, different theories to come up with a solution yourself. So the therapist may have certain areas that they're an expert in, like cognitive behavioral therapy, solution focused therapy. They may have an area that they're an expertise at, but they're not telling you, hey, Sharonda, do A, B, C, and D. No, they're helping to guide you as you're talking through whatever situation you need to talk through. And if you find yourself in that space where you can't really get out of it, we talked about that a little bit, where you can't get out of having those moments, then you can look into therapy. You can't right now during COVID, therapists are still working, they're still meeting, they're taking the time to do things via telehealth. They'll come into your home. They're different places. And if you feel like you need a therapist, you can reach out to me too. I'm very familiar with the therapist community, both in Cabarrus County as well as Mecklenburg County. I'll be glad to make a referral. I'll be glad to connect you with someone if you feel like just doing self-care in yourself or not being able to come out of your space doesn't work for you. Okay, so next up, I am going to use, this is my next one, right? Yeah. So this is Sunday Riley's all-in-one lactic acid treatment. You see that? Oh. Hopefully it's not. Okay, there you go. So I don't use a lot of this. I used it one time. I felt like my face was doing a little something, but just put a little bit on your face. So to recap some of what we talked about what is self-care, since it's a big hot word right now. And sometimes we don't get a definition of what it may be. So we talked about what was self-care. We also talked about why it's important. We talked about being intentional. Oh, wait. You're supposed to go up. My cousin Ebony taught me that. Go up so your skin won't sag. So we talked about being intentional. There's a lot of things that we do in life, and we're not intentional about taking care of ourselves. We're just not. We're so busy taking care of everybody else. We're so busy with every day being super, super, super busy. And I think right now, because the world has slowed down, it's causing a lot of people to be in a place of being unhappy or being depressed or being overwhelmed, because we're so used to going all the time, that now that it's a slowed down situation, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Like we don't know what to do with it. How do we keep our day keep going? Now that I'm waking up at home, I'm working at home, I'm eating at home, I'm sleeping at home, I'm doing all these things at home every day, 24/7, 7 days out the week. We don't know how to differentiate that sometimes. So taking a moment, like being intentional, saying, okay, I'm gonna sit down on Sunday, I'm gonna come up with this self-care plan, and my self-care plan is gonna look like this. These are the top 3 things I want to do. This week I'm gonna do the first thing. The first thing is just to sit in my room for 5 minutes a day, period. And be intentional. Do it every day for 7 days for 5 minutes a day and see how you feel. And then say, okay, I'm gonna add number 2 in, and I'm gonna do that for a certain amount of time. And so being intentional, it helps your health. It helps your emotional health. It helps your mental health. It helps your physical health. It's just no other way to say it. Me making the decision to monitor and to change what I'm putting in my mouth has made a huge difference in my health. It's made a difference in my physical health. It's made a difference in my mental health. It's made a difference in my emotional health. All those pieces, all because I said, I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to change up something. I'm going to still eat, but I'm going to eat something a little different. Small change that had a huge positive impact on my life. Me saying, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take 5 minutes a day to just be Sharonda, and just I ain't gonna be Miss Banks. I'm not gonna be Miss Sharonda. I'm not gonna be any other stuff. I'm just gonna be Sharonda. The essence of who I am has made a difference in my mental health and my emotional health and my physical health. All of those pieces connected together has caused me to be a better me. It's helped me to be a better mom. Not to be so impatient all the time with my kids, not to be yelling all the time with my kids, just enjoying moments with them because I'm not feeling overwhelmed and stressed because I've letting everything else that I got going on sit on my shoulder and cause me to weigh me down. And so that's why it's important. And like I said, I'm in a place that my bucket is full. It may not be completely full. My bucket like about here. So because I have some stuff in my bucket, I'm sharing with y'all guys because I think it's important for all of us to be in a very good, a very happy, healthy place in our life with ourselves. So if anything you got out of this time, I got one more thing to put my face though. But anything you got this time of me talking is to be intentional in all that you do, to make a self-care plan, to activate the self-care plan, and to continue to monitor it and do different things. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a formal thing. It doesn't have to be a written down thing, like I said. For me, I'm a pen and paper type of chick. That's just kind of who I am. So I write everything down. I have a planner. I still do old fashioned paper and pen planner. I just got a new one. I'm so super excited about it. So I write things down because it helps to hold me accountable. It helps to give me a visual. And so I always suggest to anybody, write it down, put it in front of you, put it on your wall, put it on your mirror, do something where you're able to see what your self-care plan is. If writing it down is not your thing, put it in your phone. If you have an Apple, you can put it in your notes and write down, all right, this is what I'm gonna do the week of January 1st. I'm gonna put this, and I'm gonna make sure I am self-caring and I'm taking care of myself in this process. You can put notes on your mirror. I have notes on my mirror. I have a lot of self affirmations on how to affirm myself because we get beat down a lot in this world. And so if you can start your day off on positive talk, hopefully that positive talk can hold you through the day because everybody in that positive talking with you. You know, you're dealing with a lot during the day. So that's something that's helpful for me. Again, that's self-care. That's me saying what makes Sharonda happy? What can make my bucket be full? What can make me feel good about myself? So being intentional, getting a self-care plan, activating a self-care plan. Yes, ma'am, Miss Deborah. Write the vision, make it plain. Because it's important. Like we have a lot of good intentions. We have a lot of great things that we want to do. I posted on Facebook the other day, like I'm not gonna die with all these great ideas. I'm just not gonna do it. You know, I was truly raised that I could do anything. Like my mom used to tell me, my mom, my aunt, my grandma used to tell me, I could paint the sky purple if I wanted to because my name is Sharonda. So I really believe that. Like I instill that in my children and Jemiah and Jermaine that they can do anything but fail. Seriously. All you gotta do is try. What's the worst thing that can happen? Is that it don't work? What's the best thing that can happen? It can work. So why not do it? So I really feel that way. And so because I feel that way, it makes me a person that does things. Action. I definitely, you know, scripture wise, believe in the fact of faith without works is dead. So I definitely believe in action steps. But because of that, that can be very overwhelming for me because if God puts it in my head, a little nugget in my head, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? He put another nugget, I'm doing it. So I got like 75 different things I'm doing. That can be overwhelming. It can just be a lot that you're doing on a daily basis with not a lot of downtime. So the self-care gives you that downtime. It gives you that refuel. It could be going on trips. Right now, it's hard to do the trip thing, but maybe you could do a staycation. You know, come up with a great idea of how you can staycation at home, you know, or what is it for y'all guys? Like I know my self-care stuff. I know what makes me happy. And because I'm being intentional, it comes to my head very quickly. Because you may not self-care as often as you should, That's something that you have to start thinking about. Think about when you were a little girl, when you were a little boy. What were those things that made you happy? Was it cooking? Was it making cookies? Was it sitting down with the elders in your family and talking with them? Was it laying in the bed with your mom, laying in the bed with your dad? What I mean, it's a lot of different things. When you think back to when you were young, those are those self-care things that you got to get back to. My grandmother teaching me how to read as a young child, it's something I really enjoy. My kids don't get, well, Jermaine get it. Mine don't really get it too much. She's like, oh, you just reading? I'm like, yeah, I'm just reading. Because it takes me into a place that's not my own. And I get to be imaginative, imagine what the characters in the book look like and how would they act in certain situations. It really makes me happy. And I have gotten away from that, but I have not now. I mean, I definitely read now and I take the time to read. I read books that take me into fiction, but I also read books that are like self-help and how can I grow and how can I be the best person I can be and how can I be the best entrepreneur because I got all these business ideas that I'm trying to make happen. So that's something that makes me happy. Like I said, coming home, I legitimately come home and I take 10 to 15 minutes in my room by myself. I just do. I have to because I have to kind of download all the stuff I did for the day, release it, and then kind of go into playing part two of my day and be mommy. And then when I go to my dance studio, I got to take a moment because now I got to release all that I was doing at home. And now I got to be Miss Sharonda, Coach Sharonda, and teach. So you just have to understand those different departments of your life and how can you add that self-care in there. But to ignore self-care, it is just so detrimental to your health. It's detrimental to your mental health. It's detrimental to your emotional health. Do you feel yourself like crying all the time or sad all the time? And so that's the emotional health piece. It's that, I'm feeling sad all the time. I'm crying all the time, which then leaks into your mental health. And now you're feeling depressed and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling, put down. And then that goes to your physical health. Now we're overeating and now we're not exercising. And so all these things is like this revolving circle. And at the end of the day, you got to step in and be intentional and yank yourself out of that. And if you can't yank yourself out of it yourself, as my cousin Ebony said, you can look at therapy. You can look at another person coming in to help you. But before you go there, I think, just trying to be intentional and doing the self-care for yourself and taking care of your being. All right, this is my last thing on my face. So this is Sunday Riley again. It's the A+ high dose retinol serum. It's a lot. Let me see. So this is normally my, just FYI, it's my nighttime routine. I don't do all these steps. I don't always do a face mask. I do a face mask like once a week. I might need to do it more, but I do about once a week. Because again, life gets busy and I don't want to set myself up to fail on my self-care. So I try to get it in at least once a week. A little bit more of that's a lot. I normally have dance classes at the studio every day from about 5 to 8. So sometimes I can't get to the face mask like I want to, but everything else I try to do. And see, my face looks moisturized. Can you see it? It looks very moisturized. And then I kind of end with some hair stuff too. Y'all can see I have color in my hair now. So I have to do some leave-in conditioner and things like that to keep my hair in this tip-top shape. So I try to do that every other day. I do use castor oil. This is just plain castor oil, nothing mixed with it. I also do an oil that I make for my hair, but I don't have any right now. So I'm just using the straight castor oil that I just put on my scalp and rub in, which is great for the growth. I'm going on 4 years in January. My sister-like babies were born. So I'm just self-caring while I'm talking to y'all, giving y'all an example of what self-care looks like for me. And I enjoy it. I have music. Talk about that. Music is self-care for a lot of people. taking time just to listen, let it penetrate your soul. I'm very much into music. I call myself a lyricist. I like to listen to words. I like to listen to what's being said on the songs, which is what I'm trying to teach my daughter. Just don't rock to a beat because you could be rocking to something that got you looking ignorant. So, taking time to listen to what's being sung. But self care, music is a self care option. A lot of people like to go out and hear bands and like to I have a for Christmas, my lactician gave me an awesome Christmas present, which was a Echo. I already had the Echo Dot, but this is a Echo. It has like a little screen on it. And I like it a lot because I could just say what I want to hear and it plays for me. I don't have to do anything special, but listen. So also candles. Candles is a big self-care thing for me too. I just bought some new some new candles. I'm not close enough to it to show it to y'all, but I'll show y'all next time. I love lighting candles. I love listening to music, turning my lights down, reading a book. Y'all want to know that's a good day for me. I'm super excited about that. It makes me happy. It rejuvenates me. And then I'm able to go about my day. So again, on Sundays at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna come up here and we are going to talk self-care talk. If you ever miss it when we're up here, you can comment. Give me some suggestions of self-care options that you do, and I'll try them out. Then we can talk about it on the following Sunday about how it went. Did I like it? How does it go for you? If you have any questions about self-care, if you have any, if you're in need of a self-care plan sheet or worksheet, let me know. I will email it to you as something to kind of help you on your self-care journey. If you're like, God, I don't even know what I like to do. I don't even, which is it's honest and it's okay because a lot of times we got to get back to us and the things that we need to do. Shoot me an email at naturallyshaboo@gmail.com. I'll be glad to kind of work it through with you and help you get to a place where you're able to have this awesome self-care plan and you're able to implement it. And we can talk about how you're feeling after you started taking care of yourself and taking care, because you're going to take care of others, but taking care of yourself first so that when you're trying to pour into your family, you're trying to pour into your job, or you're trying to pour into the different aspects of your life, you're able to do that from a cup that is full and you're not scraping the bottom of that barrel trying to help other people out. So this is going to be our Sunday thing. I am going to be consistent. That is my goal. I'm going to be consistent with doing this and going on live. And if there's any other suggestions I have about what our self-care Sunday could look like, just let me know. I am open to it. I may come up here and make some body butter with y'all so y'all can see me do the process, or some sugar scrubs because we got some great stuff coming out for Naturally Shaboo. And y'all can kind of see the process of how it's made because that's self-care for me as well. So I definitely appreciate y'all guys hanging with me, going through my nighttime routine and my self-care routine on my face cleansing. And I really hope y'all were able to get something out of it beyond, watching me do this process. But I hope you heard the message behind what I was saying about self-care, the importance of it, how it's very, very, very good for your health, your physical, mental, and emotional health, how it helps you be the best you that you can be. If nobody's ever told you, you can definitely do anything but fail. You can succeed in anything you set your mind to, as long as you put some action, some prayer first, and then give it some action and make it happen. You'll be successful in it. But while you're trying to get to that success and while you're trying to get to this great pieces of who you are, take care of yourself. It's worth it. I don't know how to say it any other way, but it's worth it to take that time for self-care, because it's going to make you be so much more phenomenal than what you already are in meeting your goals. So it's been about 48 minutes since we've been up here, so I'm very close to my hour. I am going to let everybody go on this Sunday evening. I hope y'all guys take the time to spend time with your families right now, that you disconnect from social media for a little bit, disconnect from your phones for a little bit, and just be present in the moment. Let that be some self-care for you. Be present in the moment. Be intentional in all that you do. And y'all guys have a blessed rest of 2020. And as we enter into 2021, I'll be back up here on next Sunday at 7 p.m. In the meantime, if you have anything that you want me to discuss, any self-care that you want me to focus in on, anything that you're doing, you can comment in the comments on this video, or you can send me an email at naturallyshaboo, Shaboo is SHABOO, at gmail.com, and I'll look at it and I'll respond, or I'll bring it up here for next Sunday. So again, yeah, guys, I hope y'all be blessed. Have a blessed rest of 2020. Be focused for 2021 and be intentional on all that you do. Make it a great evening.